What is up, people? Good morning. Welcome to my session about using referral groups as an MSP. So, my name's Alex Boots. I help MSPs with business development, sales enablement, and marketing. And I'm a prior MSP business owner. Built my MSP in Columbus, Ohio. Learned a lot from that experience, sold that a couple years later, and then worked for other MSPs, really mostly in a business development capacity. Now, one thing that I hear commonly when I'm talking about various prospecting channels with business development reps, business development leaders, MSP owners, when I bring up, when I ask the question, what what are you doing for referrals as a prospecting channel? And really, the only thing that comes to mind for them is asking for referrals from their existing clients. So, account executives asking for referrals. So, they normally answer me in that way. They're like, oh, well, we have some referrals coming in and, but we need to ask for more. And I'm like, well, no, what I meant was, are you part of any referral groups? And, 50% of them will say, oh, yeah, I tried BNI or GoldStar, wasted a bunch of money and it was totally crap. Or the other 50% are like, what's paid referral groups? There's been very few. I don't know that I've actually talked to any that have told me that they have found personal success in one of these paid referral groups. So, where I should start probably is, what is a paid referral group? I should probably clear that up for anybody who doesn't know. A paid referral group is typically a network of groups that are based in different regions or locales. And their sole purpose is for professionals to get together, salespeople, owners, people over sales lines, to get together and to agree that they are going to use each other to refer each other prospects. This type of prospecting is not new. I think this was even being done back in the 70s or 80s. It first came up as an idea of, hey, why don't we just team up and we all agree that we're going to refer deals. So anything that comes in for commercial insurance goes to the insurance guy. Anything comes in for, you know, hell, chimney sweeping. I literally had a chimney sweeper in one of my referral groups. And these types of groups can exist in person. They can also exist virtually. I've certainly tried both. And I've also tried groups that have a quota for referrals and those that are just best effort. Some of them are a little bit more strict on, you have to do X amount of referrals per month, and they're more strict on attendance, while others are a little more lax on that and they're a little more for networking and associating and having a network. What I will say, well, turns out that my paid referral groups avenue turned out to be one of the best, if not the best ways for me to get recurring revenue prospects as an MSP. But it didn't happen quickly, and I had to learn quite a bit. I probably spent 4 years networking referral groups before I was able to really figure out the best way to do it, get myself in the best group, and get the best results. I actually used to work for a web developer, and he introduced me to the concept of networking. I did most of that virtually to varying success. Now, if you have failed in a referral group as an MSP or MSSP IT solutions provider, you're not alone. And I think there's 4 reasons why MSPs will fail in a referral group. Our industry is a trust-based relationship building sales process. 100%. If you've been in MSP long enough, there's no quick hits. There's no going out there, getting a signed contract in 2 weeks, unless you're very well established, people know you. So it actually works the exact same way with referral partners. Getting referral partners is a trust-based and relationship building process. It's not an overnight thing. You're not going to go into a referral group. You're not going to go to a networking event. 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to walk away with no leads. That is how it goes because it is a relationship building event. But there are 4 reasons why MSPs fail in referral groups. I'm going to walk through each reason. The 4 reasons are being in the wrong group with the wrong people. That's the biggest one. The biggest complaints I hear are, I was part of BNI, I was part of GoldStar, whatever. There was just a bunch of insurance people. I didn't get any results. There was home inspectors, finance people. And I'm like, okay, of course you didn't get any results. You're in the wrong group. You need to find the right one with the right people. We're going to go over that more in detail. Second is having the wrong mindset and the wrong expectations. This points back to what I was saying about relationship building and trust building. You're not going to go into a referral group and get a prospect in the first week. Typically, just like you're not going to get on the phones and cold call people who've never heard of you as an MSP and get a prospect in the first day. I've done that before, but it's not common. So you got to have the right mindset and expectations of this referral game, and I'll go into that. 3 ties into 2, but having transactional interactions versus building real long-term relationships. You need to be in this for the long game. You're not in there to show up, be a face, do your 30-second elevator pitch, and have transactional interactions and expect to get great results. People want to be invested in. You yourself, when you're going to, look at your friend group, you want to surround yourself with people who invest in you and you invest in them. A business relationship is the same way, particularly in paid, even though it's a paid referral group. I'll say this, even though you pay, let's say $250 a quarter to be in a paid referral group, you guys' job is to refer each other prospects. That does not mean that you're going to get referrals. You have to treat that as a side point. It's like, okay, we're in this group. We're supposed to, get each other referrals. But I'm here to demonstrate real value to these people, to build relationships with the right people in this group, and really help them and educate them at the same time and make myself fully available to their network as a resource. 4th is not demonstrating value to your peers. If you go into a paid referral group and you sit there with your arms crossed and you're the IT guy and you're conservative, and whenever you give your pitch, you talk about handling computers and IT issues and you're the guy for that, you know a bit about cybersecurity, you're not really demonstrating value to your peers. So there are definitely, in my 4 years of learning how to do this, there are absolutely ways, the best ways that a group of people get an impression that you're valuable and you can do what, they would expect you to do. And mostly that's through social proof, sharing successes, and doing really great presentations. Typically in these groups, you have a presentation cadence where everybody gets the floor for 30 minutes, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, depending on how many people you have in there to actually do your presentation. So any one of these reasons can cause failure in a paid referral group, and certainly having more than one will absolutely guarantee failure. You will be throwing money away. So that's the purpose of this webinar, so that you get the actual, bottom lines that you need to be successful in these groups. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the webinar, paid referral groups, I was an MSP business development rep, easily my best prospecting channel. I pulled in, 40,000 MRR in the course of a year from a referral group. They can be very, very good. So that's the purpose of this webinar, to show you how can you also do that. So the first point, probably the biggest point, being in the wrong group with the wrong people. This one's very unavoidable. There's a lot of paid referral groups out there. If you just Google search paid referral group, you're going to see like BNI, GoldStar, Am Spirit. There's all sorts of different ones. You want to go through the roster, and you want to you have a short list of the type of personas that you are going to choose when you're choosing your referral group. The best ones for me, and I call them my power partners, the best four were telecommunications, commercial security, commercial movers, believe it or not. And then fourth would be ISP. ISP is not hasn't been as good to me as an MSP sales or business development guy because a lot of them have integrated managed services into their stack. So like AT&T or Verizon will literally offer small business managed service support. So their reps are pretty incentivized to sell that. However, the other three were absolute fire. I called these my power partners. And let me give you a couple examples about why these guys were successful and kind of what I did with them. So telecommunications guys. So this was a traditional telecom company that does not sell managed services. I'm fine in giving phone deals away. I know a lot of MSPs love unified communications and stuff, but if you find a great telecommunications sales rep in a paid referral group who's also a hustler out there hungry, you give all phone deals to him and he's going to give all managed services deals to you because he's going to get asked about managed services. The prospect might even feel safer asking him. That's the phone guy. Hey, do you guys do you guys handle IT? Do you do cybersecurity? This guy handed me over the single best deal I've ever closed. Working for us, I mean, the MSP I was working for at the time was an $8 million MSP, so they weren't huge. I closed an $8 million hardware deal from my telecommunication in my paid referral group. He had sent a cold email and you know, got a response, and then he immediately gave it to me. More on that in a minute about telecommunications. So the second one, commercial security. This one was also really good. I worked with a pretty seasoned commercial security sales rep, and he would be asked, whether it was from like the facilities manager, whoever he was dealing with, do you guys tackle IT issues? Do you do structured cabling? Do you do things like this? And anytime he heard that, he gave it right to me. Third, commercial movers. This one was great. One of our plays, I had three guys in this group. So it was Pete, it was Jason, and it was John and me. We were like the power partners. And the commercial mover, John, the reason that was good is because whenever businesses were setting up new corporate offices or branch offices, they need IT setups. Sometimes they're looking for a new managed IT service provider. So he would get first wind, and he had actual access to directory listings of new commercial construction. So he would get first wind of that. We even met outside of the paid referral group and had our own networking meeting where we would comb through commercial listings for new commercial bills. And we had someone had a subscription to it, and we would have like the contact and the name. And not me, those guys would cold call the commercial listings, the telecom guy and the commercial mover. And then I would just get given any managed service provider. So, one of the reasons why these referral groups are so good is because you instantly multiply your sales force without having to hire any salespeople. You pay a $250 quarterly fee, you get in the right group with these people, you build some relationships, takes a couple months, and you have, new sales associates essentially, and you should treat them as such. And by the way, if you want to ask any questions throughout here, this is a total like back and forth Q&A, so feel free. But you have essentially extended your sales force for free. So it's absolutely fantastic. And another point on this is when you're picking your personas, you want to pick people who are hungry. You don't necessarily want those, account reps with cushy salaries who are going to be sitting on accounts. You want guys after new business, outside sales reps, even inside sales reps who are after new business versus those, maybe more seasoned account executive type people. And when you're choosing your paid referral groups, go try out. Like go schedule yourself, 8 referral groups. Maybe that's a bit much. Let's just say 4 over the next couple weeks. And then go to the introductions to each one. You're going to stand up and do an elevator pitch, but you're going to also get to kind of see the faces in the room, find out what type of people they are. Are there hustlers in there? Another really important thing is, do you like them? I know it sounds simple, but man, it's a total drag if you're forcing yourself to go to these paid referral groups. And to that point, when I was in these groups, I hear a lot of people complain about finance people and home inspectors and roofing guys and all this stuff. You don't have to talk to them. They can be in the group. And as a matter of fact, they were in my group. But you can give them deals. As a matter of fact, I gave referrals to the insurance agents and the auto dealers. I gave them deals just because I can. And the better networked you are, the more valuable of a resource you are. Who knows what's going to come from that? Next thing is having the wrong mindset and expectations. So I kind of, hit on this a little bit earlier, but, your mindset is you are there to be a resource to these people. You are there to demonstrate value, and you're there to build your network. As an IT sales rep, it doesn't matter what industry that you're in, or an IT owner, founder-led sales, whatever. It's really, really important that you have a network of people for you to call on. It immediately increases the perception of your value in other people's eyes. So when you're even talking to a prospect, talking about IT, oh, we don't need that, but I am looking for website. You go, absolutely. I had a website guy too. Absolutely. Let me share a contact with you. You're talking to a company. They're like, hey, we're looking for cyber insurance. Totally. I got a guy for you on that. Hey, we actually need to move offices. Need some help. I got a guy for you on that. And what that does is you become a go-to for them. And who are they going to come to, that prospect, when they do need managed IT services, when they do have some kind of cyber incident or some kind of oh shit moment? They're going to come to you, man. You've been the guy that has been a resource for them. You've been in communication. You're not just following up with them on them being a prospect for you. You're following up with them and checking in with them, but also just talking with them about business. And as an MSP sales rep, I did that a lot. I talked with my prospects just about business. Outside of IT, how's it going in your company? How do you job? What things are you guys kind of running into as a business? You go outside of that, and that stuff has a way to circumvent back full circle, and you become that guy whenever they do need an MSP. They're going to call you. So you need to have that correct mindset. You need to not expect any leads to be given to you. Just don't expect it. Now, when you give referrals, which you should be focused on in these groups, you should be mostly focused on giving. At some point, if you're getting nothing, you can work that out. You can stand up, you can say, hey guys, so I just wanted to see maybe what I could do better to earn you guys' trust to get some more leads. Like that's one way you can do it. But you can put a demand on getting referrals, but only after you've given an ample amount of referrals. And that's kind of a good rule of thumb to follow. Third, having transactional interactions instead of building long-term relationships. I really focused on this. When I went in there to my referral group, I talked to my people. I also talked to everybody else, but I've spent most of my time with my power partners and building those relationships. Another thing that I would do is me and the telecom of my pay referral group, we would go canvassing together. We would go out door to door. And if you've ever done canvassing or door to door, it can take a lot of energy, mental, walking up to people. They don't know you. They might have a no solicit sign. You might have some anxiety about that, but you walk in anyway and just make an introduction. So there's a lot of maybe like mental gymnastics that you kind of have to get through. when you have someone that you're doing it with that you know, like, and trust, it becomes a lot easier. You can lean on each other and kind of do a bit of a kind of a power play between each other. So we would go into businesses and, hey, it's Alex and Pete. He does phones. I do IT cybersecurity. We're just getting around, getting around out here today and meeting some businesses. Wanted to stop in. Do you guys currently have any providers for you for your phones or for your IT? How does that look for you today? And I'll just ask the receptionist and get into a conversation about that. Or I would have a list of who I wanted to talk to in that business. So like I would go to Zoom Info or Apollo or whatever enrichment that you use. And then I would go, okay, the IT director at this mortgage company is Jason. So I would go in canvassing with Pete, telecom guy, say, hey, we would take turns, me and Pete would take turns, and it would be my turn to say, hey, this is Alex. We're a local IT company. Just here to see if Jason's in. Just stopping in, drop him off some information. So I would ask for that person by name. But most of the time, the IT director is not going to be there. So it's good to build a little bit of rapport with that gatekeeper, and have some conversation with that receptionist. So you want to build real bonds, and those bonds will absolutely pay off for you. As a matter of fact, my biggest MRR deal came from a paid referral group. It was about, I want to say 5 or 6 months in. And I had been doing my demonstrations, my presentations, continuing to do everything that I described to you above. And all of a sudden we get a website lead from a like 150 user company in the town of Columbus where the MSP was. And I followed up with it, and I found out that was a referral. Went to our website and filled out a form. Now, 3 months later, I ended up closing that deal for 15,000 MRR. Fantastic deal. But the way that happened is I found out the next day at my networking meeting that Debbie walked up to me. She was actually the owner of a chimney sweeping company. Okay, they do chimney sweeping. She said, hey, I talked with you about a friend of mine. She's actually a CFO at this company. And she mentioned the name of the company. And I put in a good word for you. And I said, oh my God, that was the company that put the website lead in. And I said, what did you guys talk about? And she said, we were at a baseball game for our kids. And she was complaining about their IT provider. I said, I've got a really great guy. They do fantastic job. Here's the name. That CFO went back, gave our name to the decision maker over there, and we ended up getting in the mix and winning the deal. So yes, would I have paid the $1,000 a year to win a $15,000 MRR deal? And would I have spent, I don't know, 15 hours of my time networking and doing presentations? Would I do it over again? I think that's needless to be said. Any MSP business development rep, you're like, hey, get your company to pay $1,000 and you're going to put 15 hours of work in, and you'll get a $15,000 MRR deal. Cool. It's like, this is great. I didn't even determine what was the cost per lead, or really customer acquisition cost of that customer was probably pretty low. I know 30,000 is not that far off as a CAC for most MSPs, but that might have come in even lower. So these groups are highly, highly efficient and effective. Now, the last thing I would say is, the last point is not demonstrate value to your peers. So when you're doing your presentations, you need to pick a topic that really hits home to everyone. You cannot go wrong with picking AI and cybersecurity today for obvious reasons. So when you're talking to the whole group, talk to everybody. Don't try to get prospects from presentation. Like, don't do that. Talk to the car repair dealer and the chimney sweeper and the insurance person and the mortgage person and the finance person. Make sure your presentation hits them too, because you never know what deals can come in from them. You're not going to expect it, but you never know. So I would spend some good time on my presentations and also get feedback from the group when you do your presentations. Hey, How was that? Sit down one-on-one. There's normally like someone in the group in charge of like membership success. So sit down with them. How was that? Did that guy, and sometimes I would get amazing feedback where I thought my presentation on cybersecurity really hit home, but he goes, man, we didn't understand any of those words you were saying. And that is the biggest point is you cannot talk tech jargon. I know you've heard that before, but seriously, it still surprises me. And even when you go up there and you say something like um, cybersecurity, some people don't even know what that means. They're like, oh, cybersecurity. So you're going to put a security system in my building. It's like, no, that's not what it is. Oh, okay. You're going to make sure that you remove viruses from my computer. I hope you don't think that's what that is. So you really need to take an easy gradient with these guys and practice and be confident up there. Don't go up there and I like to use a word called soft sell. Don't go up there and like soft sell your services. Don't go up there and like maunder. Like, hey, yeah, we're an MSP. We help our clients with handling their computer issues and different things like that. Like you need to really demonstrate why you are a cut above any other managed service provider that they might be looking at. And I'll say another way to demonstrate value, share your wins. Wins are not wins that go unannounced are pointless. Share success stories. Whenever you get a good referral from the group, share it with the group. Debbie gave me an awesome referral. We're working on it now. When you're working with your power partners, me and Pete or me and John went out yesterday and we went out canvassing and, it was really successful. And what that does is it continues you continue to be vocal in the group and it continues to build your value in the eyes of the group. So I promise you that if you do these actions that I'm describing, your paid referral group will become one of the strongest prospecting avenues for you. And one of the things that I do, I have a company called Resonant Impact Systems, and we can help you with getting in the right referral group. I can literally do a project with you where I work hands on with you and helping you find that right group based on, my 4 years of getting this thing right. So I think the last thing that I'll say as something successful that you should do is you should network with these guys outside of your referral group. So go to coffee with them, go to other networking groups with them. That kind of stuff just further enriches the relationships that you have. So if there's no questions, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the session for today. I hope that was really valuable for everybody. Please give me your feedback, and we'll have another one next week on a different topic, different MSP sales prospecting tips. Again, I'm Alex Boots, Resonant Impact Systems. Thank you so much for coming today. Have an amazing week.